All right, peace, peace, peace. What up? First and foremost, man, hopefully the Most High in your house shall bless your day. By his mercies you are consumed. We're alive in the Most High in your house shall body, and two we're naturally alive. And yeah, man, we going to get into this, man, because honestly, man, kind of like what we always talk about on here, man, like especially growing and spiritually maturing and realizing the gospel witness testimony, man. It's just really about the Most High in your house, man. And we're going to see, like, how let's just look at this, man, with just giving the glory and praises to the Most High Yahushua, man, because um realizing it's really about them, they're getting their praise, and because a lot of times in the spiritual field, no matter what denomination people are, they make it about their congregation, their doctrine, their organization, sometimes their church camp, congregation, assembly, whatever. But it's really about the Most High Yahushua, man, or about something other than that, man. It's just everywhere in the spiritual fear. But we're gonna look at this in the aspect of, like, that's why in the this Second Samuel real quick was really spiritual, and it was really it was 3-1. It was really prophetic as well. So let's get Second Samuel chapter 3 and verse 1. Now there was a long war between the house of Saul and the house of David, but David waxed stronger and stronger, in the house of Saul weaker and weaker. Why? Because the house of David was of faith. And, and that house of David war lasted till, like, even to the actually going to the day, actually. But it was really, like, even during the son of David with Yahushua and the Pharisees, because the Pharisees were the house of Saul and Yahushua was the house of David, was a faith. You know, faith, honor, integrity, like, righteousness, I should say. And House of Saul was God, evil eye, envy, deceit, wickedness, evil, all that type of stuff, man. So yeah, man, because we're gonna see the difference, honestly. Because you know what even with Saul and the Pharisees and David with in Yahushua, the son of David. So let's read this again. It says, now there was a long war between the house of Saul and the house of David, but David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker. So let's get First Samuel real quick. Um uh yeah, let's get First Samuel chapter 15, because this is after, like, the Most High Yahushua says he's done with Saul. But notice how notice what Saul says, honestly. For because after he moves the spear from him, and after, like, he didn't kill the king of Agag, because, like, because Saul is pretty much a Cain nigga, man. He wanted the best things to himself, honestly, and offer that to Most High Yahushua, just like in the beginning with Cain. So that's just is what it is. So let's get First Samuel chapter 15 verse 30. He says, then he said, I have sinned, yet honor me now. His notes says, honor me now, I pray thee, before the elders of my people, before Israel, and to turn again with me, that I may worship thy God. So see that? So this is after the Most High House has moved his Holy Spirit, the Spirit, away from him, and stops messing with him. And this is what Saul's worried about. He's worried about his glory, his own glory, in the eyes of the people, man. Honestly. But you know what? That's no different. That's why let's go Matthew 23, man, because that's what the Pharisees and scribes and stuff like that, like, majority of them was worried about. Matthew 23. It's what Yahushua says. Matthew chapter 23, verse because this is what this is what the Pharisees were worried about. Matthew 23 and verse 5. It says, "But all their works they do to be seen, yeah, seen of men, just like Saul." See that? To be seen of men, to make their broad phylacteries and enlarge borders of their garments, and they love the upper room. Verse 6, and love the uppermost rooms at feasts, and the chief seats in the synagogues, and greetings in the markets to be called man, Rabbi, Rabbi. But see what's what Yahushua says, but ye be called not, but be not called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Christ, even Masha, all your brothers. So yeah, Christ said, man, we brothers, man. Like that's why in 1 Samuel 30, man, like when the men that were faint, they didn't go with David to finish the war. He said no, man, and the David and stuff like in the army, they came back with the army Israel, they came back, with the food, with the spoils and stuff. David said, no, you get them, like, you give them something as well, man. Because, he said, listen, whoever said, no, let's just get it real quick. First Samuel 30. Yeah. 1 Samuel 30, verse 21. And it says, and David came to 200 men, which were so faint that they could not follow David, whom they were also made to abide the brook Besor. But they went forth to meet David and to meet the people that were with him. When David came near to the people, he saluted them. Then answered one of the wicked men of Belial, pretty much worthless man, evil man. They went to David and said, and because they were not with us, that we will not ought to give them the spoil that we have recovered, to save every man his wife and his children, that they may lead them and depart. Verse 23. Then said David, ye shall not do so, my brethren, which the Lord had given us, who had preserved us, delivered the company that came against us into our hand. Exactly, man. So David was like, man, don't even listen to them, man. Because, that's just is what it is, man. Because it's really, they cared about what, David understood, man, this is about the Most High Yahushua. He gave us his victory. It wasn't us, man. They were worried, he was worried about the people and being selfish. But they was worried about, like, his brothers, man. That's just is what it is, man. So, and also, too, that's an example of how the Most High Yahushua will, we can do all things through Yahushua that strengthens us, man. Because notice how David, like that was David, and the son of David pretty much gives us our strength, man. So that's another story for another day, man. But point being is that, man, let's go back to 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 30. Then he said, I have sinned, yet honor me now, I pray thee, before the elders of my people, before Israel, and turn again with me, that I may worship thy God. So let's go to John 17, man, because even after David went through everything that David did, man, he didn't care about, like, the praise and esteem of man. He just wanted the Most High Yahushua, to not forsake him, man. That's why I said Psalm 51, cast not your Holy Spirit away from me. But let's get this John 17, verse 5, because this is what Yahushua said. Because he's worried about, like, the glory that he had with the Father, not the glory in the outside of men. That's why in John 5, he said, I get not honor from men. I get honor from my Father. So, John 17, verse 5. And now, John 17 and 5, it says, and now, O Father, glorify me which thou hast thine own self, which glory which I had with thee before the world was. And this is another example how we probably going to talk about this at a later time, how he was slain from the foundation of the earth, man, because in the glory before the foundations, like, of the earth was. So that's why in Proverbs 8, the Yahushua, that's about Yahushua, like 22 on down, because it says before the foundations were laid, he was there, man. So yeah, man, all this stuff was written to happen. So that's why all this free will stuff is nonsense, man. But that's another story for another day. But hopefully this is edifying, man. But pretty much, man, it's all about because this is an aspect of how the greater than he that's in you than in the world, man. Because it's not about, like, that person per se too much. It's about the spirit of the Most High Yahushua, in them. That's why Ecclesiastes Sirach says this. It says, Ecclesiastes also in Sirach 36 and verse 4. It says, and thou wast sanctified in us before them, so be thou magnified among them before us. Because it's about the Most High Yahushua. That's why he said, I'm glorified in them, because it's really his spirit. Honestly, he's not really just about, like, that person or party per se, man. It's about the Most High Yahushua's spirit, like, them getting glorified. So hopefully it's edifying, man. So peace.